What is going on, everybody? I'm using Windows Movie Maker program, and I'm going to talk to you about, since now, to me, only me. Let me pull, first and foremost, let me pull this up really quick. Okay, let's go to Google really quick. Okay. We're going to be discussing Prince albums now. That's what we're going to be doing. And we're going to be really fully discussing the topic. We're going to go much as in depth as possible. So what I want to do and everything. Let me scoot this over to there. Bring this up over here. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, to me, I have every Prince album now. For the US releases, now I'm an Amazon person. We're going to be discussing them. So this first one was in 1979 on April 7th. It was also released on Warner Brothers. Was his first album, For You. Right there. For You is an R&B slow disco album. His influence for the album, believe it or not, was Michael Jackson's Off the Wall. So Off the Wall came out, we all know it came out way before this album. Well, excuse me, I'm not used to this camera being over here on this side or whatever. And there's a lot of the color of it, you can tell. The rhythms, the bands, everything was really, you could really hear it in this album. You could really hear the influence of Off the Wall in there. That's without a doubt. I did history, research and all that good mess right there to, really look at it. The album, it was really overlooked. When he started out the album, he played every instrument himself, and he ran it by a lot of people, really. And one of the people from Warner Brothers, or really before Warner Brothers, but by the time he fully worked on it, produced it himself, and it just didn't do as well. But what you really can't expect everything to be great. And remember, he just started out, so it was his first album, so it made sense. Sometimes you don't always do great. For me, I don't really care much for the album. I know every album that you need, if you're a fan of somebody, it's always best to get the first album, because you never know. They could be gone, which everyone dies, and that first album may put them on or not put them on. And you may have some songs on there like, man, that album should have been, that song should have been on this year's charts, and stuff like that. To me, Yours is really one of the best ones on there, in my opinion, and it's just one really that has no really replay value to me. Not really much else to say. So the second album, which is self-titled, Prince, came out October 19th, 1979, label on Warner Brothers. It was 22 on the Billboard charts. It went silver in the UK, and it went platinum in the US. Okay, so His first one made it to, at least in the top 100s. So sales not really through there. So this one more disco in it, less R&B. I think it's one of the better albums to listen to for a second one rather than his first. Has a little bit of replay value, not too much. Yet again, it still took a while because it was still one of those albums that was overlooked. And people really weren't understanding them at the time yet. People were not understanding them yet. Songs I Want to Be Your Lover is a very good one. With You. And When You're Dancing, Not Close and Slow. And I Feel For You was his first Grammy Award winning song. Now, everybody knows the song by Shaka Khan. I feel for you, the way you made me satisfied. Do, I really wanted you. You know that song. That's a remix to Prince's song. He's the one that actually created I Feel For You. And ever since then, a lot of people have been redoing that song. So that's one of the songs that really got people, noticed, and they gave him a lot of, they gave him credit for it, and they're like, really? Wait, who? Oh, you mean this guy? So really, granted, Shaka Khan made the better version, and that's the one everyone knows, but you need to know that Prince made it first, because Shaka Khan didn't come out, and that's until, the early 80s, I'm not really sure, but around that area. So, and we go a little bit more further down, which was Dirty Minds album right here. Really great album, by the way, though. This is his third studio release album. He didn't have no tours yet till he got around to, I think, the 1999 album, because he wanted to build up albums. He wanted to build up some recognition. He wanted to get a little bit of money in. He wanted to have some songs out there so he can perform. He did, however, if I remember, I think he promoted this, or no, it was Controversy he promoted for a little beginner type of thing, for like a tour a little bit. This came out in October 8, 1980 on Warner Brothers. It came in the top 40 and it went gold in the US. So, that was cool. I feel like it should have been more top up there, but around this time in the 80s, you gotta remember, man, this a lot of competition in the early 80s, especially in the pop culture. This granted more towards the rock pop scene, and him and Michael, they never felt like there's competition, but Michael felt like there was competition. And I really love this album. I gotta put it on my phone before I hit the gym, because I'm doing this video first before I hit the gym. It's like hot out right now. Really great album. Like I said, I did a review on this, and every song to me is a perfect 10. I just love this album. I really do. 8 tracks, those total 8 tracks really got it going, and this is when people started noticing him. So from around there, Dirty Minds and Controversy are tie-in albums, because they both go together. I'm glad he did separate them. This is Controversy right here. Controversy came out on October 14th, 1981, label Warner Brothers. Came on top 20 in the charts, and then it went down to 55, then 50. It went gold in the UK and platinum in the US. This was another great album. Like I said, Dirty Minds and Controversy are both albums in one, but both tie-ins with 2 different separate titles, with different songs, obviously. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Some of the songs are a little bit skippable. It has halfway, a little bit, replay value. Controversy, Sexuality, Pride and Joy, and Anti-Christian are some of my favorite songs on that album. So around this time, he's starting to kind of do his first little tour a little bit to get him out there, get some money going in. And as we move on from there, he's worked and released one of his biggest, this is his what, 1, 2, 3, his 5th studio album, which is going to be his first biggest album to really get him noticed, to really put him out there, was album 1999. Came out October 27th, 1982, label Warner Brothers. Wow, okay. Number 7 on the charts, then 35, then 23, 45, 6 on the Billboard charts, 51 and 28. It went platinum in China, platinum in the UK, US, gold, and 4 times platinum in the US. My bad, 4 times platinum in the US. This did really great, actually. Of course, it had some good songs. Some really actually decent replay value. I'm not gonna say great. I'm gonna say decent. Now, the song 1999, very great. Little Red Corvette, very love this one. Let's Pretend We're Married. That's a good one. Let me see. Lady Cab Driver. I really like that. And like I have some of my favorites on there. It is a great album. This album and the look. If you look at the song and the history for this album right here. Around this time, drum machines will start to come in. But even during this time, he put a band together called The Revolution. So when Revolution really started coming into play, the album 1999 made the look, which took off for a 6th studio album that put him on, not to mention soundtrack / one of his biggest movies of all time is Purple Rain, came out in 1984. This and Thriller were head to head. They say Thriller was a Real Big 7 album. This was too. They went back and redid their numbers. This was actually the first. So there was. Now I like Thriller. This was actually the first one that sold big. This released June 25th, 1984, label Warner Brothers. Top 10 on the charts. It stayed at number 1, 8, 5, 4, 2, and 3, 7. China, 6 times platinum. UK, 2 times platinum. In the US, 13 times platinum. This album is good. It's one of his biggest commercialized albums. I get that. He wasn't big on commercials. Every song on here, it does have, the album does have replay value. But even I got my favorites. The beautiful ones, When Doves Cry, Computer Blue, I Would Die For You, Baby, I'm a Star. To me, so this is a 6th studio album that really started boosting his career. So, to me, Purple Rain is my 5th number 1 album by him. Like I say, even I got my favorites. So Purple Rain is one of them. So a year later, he came out, which is my 4th favorite album by him, Round the World in a Day. But before I begin that, there was a lot. The little lyrical content sticker. Because of the album Purple Rain, in the 80s, a lot of things were, you can't say certain things. Well, the 80s were really childish about that. And there wasn't really nothing dirty in the album. Not even really in the movie. But everyone kind of like, oh my God, children can't listen to this and see this. Because of that album, the reason why we have that sticker, and the president put it on there and he caught his child listening to the album. The 80s were like that. What were the 90s? But damn, people just took it overboard. Oh my God. So that's why we had that little sticker now, because of Purple Rain. But Round the World in a Day is my 4th favorite album by him. fourth favorite album. Around the World in a Day came out April 22, 1985, labeled Paisley Park and Warner Brothers. This is when he began Paisley Park. He's getting them good money into time. He got money off the movie Purple Rain and album sales, single sales, all that good stuff. This ended up going gold in the UK, 2 times platinum in the US. He did not want to top Purple Rain. You know, he doesn't like to try to top himself. Whatever comes out good, comes out good. Whatever comes out bigger than the next, comes out bigger than the next. This was just stayed on number 1 for a while. 12, 7, 16, 10, 16, and 5, and 8. I love Around the World in a Day. It took me a while to listen to it good while, because I kept replaying it before I got the album. And I loved it. Around the World in a Day is a good one. The song Paisley Park is alright. I like the album. You know, to me, this album is a good 9. Of course. For me, the first 4, you know, like I said, actually, you know, Dirty Minds is a good 10. 1999 is a good 8. And, of course, you know, Purple Rain, that's a good 10. But this right here, to me, is a good 9. Is Around the World in a Day. My favorite songs on here, he went back to, you know, everyone was inspired by the Beatles at this time. You could tell by the look and everything. So, the sound I really love. You know, like I said, Around the World in a Day is a good song for me. Raspberry Beret. No, Raspberry Beret, my bad. America, Pop Life is a good one. It has a little bit of replay value. Not too much, but a little bit. I really enjoy this album. I enjoy it a lot. Now, his next album, another year, like, he just dropped albums. Look, everyone knows this, he dropped albums. His next album, which wasn't really good. I love the movie. The movie's really underrated. The movie's just a complete underdog. I'm talking about Parade. I'm talking about Under the Cherry Moon. This is Parade, the soundtrack to Under the Cherry Moon. This came out March 31st, 1986, Paisley Park and Warner Brothers. The movie didn't do good. I loved the movie when it came out. I enjoyed that movie. I wish it was in color, but I think the reason why no one didn't really do as good because it wasn't in color, it was black and white. But I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the movie. I did not enjoy the album, however, but I did get it so I could have it. To me, I think the album sucks. I just can't get into it. I really can't. But during the time it came out, people liked the album. You know, it stayed on number 3. It went platinum in the UK and in the US. And, you know, then it went number 8, 7, 11, 10, 5, 2, and 4. But, you know, I gave it around 3 spins. I just can't really get into it. I only have 3 favorites, which is Boys and Girls, Another Hole in the Head, and Sometimes It Snows in April. I just can't get into the album, man. I just don't like it. I only got 3 favorite songs. That's it. I really don't want to get no more into that album. It really disgusts me. That's all I'm going to say. But I love the movie. You know. Next has to be my third favorite album by him. And I'm talking about Signs of the Times. Oh my God, Signs of the Times. I love this album. I love the concert movie he did for it in movie format, but it's a concert. Love this album. And just, oh God, I love it. I don't know what else to say. This came out March 30th, 1987, Pulaski Park and Warner Brothers. It went platinum 4 times in China, platinum in the UK, and platinum in the US. Love this album. Love this album. The history to this album. Okay, guys, how many times the down charts? Number 6, 22, 27, 11, 3, 6, 1, and 4. Now, the history to this album, he wanted to put out a big album. And I forget what the number of CDs he was. But Warner Brothers like, you can't do it. And there are some albums that molded from this that are all tie-ins. He put out Signs of the Times. The original title was supposed to be Crystal Ball. Now hear me out. Crystal Ball's a 5-set album. He wanted to put out a 10-set album. He said no. It's not gonna happen. No one's done it, but it's not gonna happen. He didn't like that. He said, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put out Signs of the Times. I love Signs of the Times. It has very great replay value. You Got the Look, Signs of the Times itself, Play in the Sunshine, Housequake, Starfish and Coffee. The song about that girl he sang about in some kind of cafe with. Now, The Ball of Dorothy Parker, that's it. Some of my favorites. Now, when they said, no, it ain't gonna happen, he said, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. After Signs of the Times came out, in 1988, he released Love Sexy. Right? Well, that is wrong. In 1987, he put out another album that was automatically took off the shelf because he wanted off the shelves. I'm talking about the Black Album. We will get to the Black Album. Now, the Black Album, there are stories about the Black Album. The ones that he put out, even during the almost same day when he had them recalled off the shelves, there were different songs. The most common one is the one Warner Brothers put out behind his back in the 90s, which we will get to down this list. The Black Album is part of Signs of the Times. But in 1988, he put out Love Sexy. Love Sexy is a part of Signs of the Times. This is when he started to find his spiritual self. Right? And this is the light side of the album. This is your Jedi side. The Black Album is your Sith album, per se. Right? So, remember when I said they weren't going to let him put out a whole big album like that? This is when he got down, I'm going to separate, I'm going to cut it. Okay. Crystal Ball album itself comes into play years later. Love Sexy, what he wanted to do, he really wanted people to listen to it. Okay? He made it a full-length album, burn. Not where you could skip it. He didn't do that. He wanted everything full-length, so you have to listen to it. There's no skipping it. This came out May 10th, 1988, Pulaski Park and Warner Brothers. I really can't give you my thoughts on this album better than I could when I tried to do the review. I'm going to put it as a question mark. And, okay, cool. It went platinum UK and it went gold in the US. Not bad. Not bad. It stayed at number 11, 837412. Wow. Okay. So we're going to put that to rest. Not too much else to say, but it ties in and stuff. So, leave it at that. Cut. However, we're going to go more farther in. 1989. Right? 1989. So we're going into, let me see, we had what? Dirty Minds, 1999. Dirty Minds. Purple Rain, On the Wheel of the Day, Signs of the Times. Okay. Okay, we might as well say we're at number 6. We're at number 6, one of my favorite albums that he did. And I'm talking about one of my favorite albums, too. The Batman album that he did for the movie, Michael Keaton's movie. Michael Keaton's, Warner Brothers, they went to Michael Keaton, hey, we have a list of artists that are big right now. Because you got to remember, Purple Rain and Thriller were 84, 83. Bad was '87, and so is Signs of the Times. Two of the biggest artists, Michael and Prince, in the '80s. Granted, they tried to make themselves friendly every generation that came along. And they're gonna be here for every generation that's gonna come along. It sucks that when our kids, if you have, I don't have kids, but if you're in your mid-20s, in your early 30s, and your kids, when they grow up, right now we're sharing them who we listen to, even though they might be 5 years old, and then you got some of the kids from now that are going into high school, the ones that just came out of high school, the ones in their mid-high school years now, plus your middle school years. We're trying to share with them. They like what they're gonna like now, but when they grow up, when they have kids, these artists are still gonna be around, no matter what. Even though they're gone, their music and everything's gonna be around, and they're gonna be making stuff for every generation. You don't really get that a lot. So Michael Keaton said, you know what? I don't want Michael. I like him, but I don't want him. I want Prince. Give me Prince. All right. Prince done this album in 2 weeks. Right when the movie was about to release, in 2 weeks. It stayed at #1 in the top 5 charts for a good while. This came out June 20th, 1989. It went 3 times platinum in China, platinum in the UK, 2 times platinum in the US. This has very great replay value. My favorites on here: Party Man, Vicky's Waiting, Trust, and Batman's. My main top one is Vicky's Waiting. I love this album. And Prince is also a Batman fan because he learned how to play the theme song to Batman from Adam West. On the piano. Batman. Yeah. Now, we're moving on to my number 5 favorite album, which the movie, I liked the movie. People hated the movie. And I'm talking about the sequel to Purple Rain, which is Graffiti Bridge. I love Graffiti Bridge movie. We're getting into the early 90s. Everything was done on set. It's prop buildings and all that goodness. Nowadays, back then, it was the 90s, but I love the 90s. I'm a 90s person. I was born really in the early, and I mean super early. The beginning early of the early 90s, put it that way. I'm 25. That should give you a good idea of what year I was born and how old I am when I just told you. So this came out August 20th, 1990. Pulaski Park and Warner Brothers. It premiered on the top 6, top 10, top 8, 22, and 7 on the Billboard charts. It went gold in China, gold in the US, gold in the UK. It felt a little bit like a mixtape because it had different artists with different songs. But that's okay because I'm not going to say I like every song. But I love this album. I think it's a great album. I can't name every song on it because I'm not going to get into every song. But just know, even I have my favorites. And I don't care what people say about the album. I don't care what they say about the movie. I love the movie, damn it. That's my movie. It's my movie. Along with the same year, they put out this album. It's a single album to some of the songs on there, even some newer ones. But to me, they redid every song a little bit to even add some new ones that make it feel like a whole separate album. And to me, that's what it really is, a whole separate album. And it's like a hip-hop album. And I really appreciate that. So, that's about as much as I can say with that one. I love it. In 1991, Diamonds and Pearls. Now, this was his second commercialized album. Who else had an album? Came out in 91. These two went toe-to-toe, but Diamonds and Pearls outdid Dangerous album, Michael Jackson's Dangerous. This came out October 1st, 1991, Pulaski Park, Paisley Park, and Warner Brothers. It premiered top 3, 1, 4, 8, 5, and 2 on the charts. It went 2 times platinum in China, 3 times platinum in the UK, and 2 times platinum in the US. It's an okay album. I'm not gonna say it's great, but it's okay. You know, I can appreciate this album. I can truly appreciate it. Cream and what's the name of this one? Daddy Pop. And the Diamonds and Pearls itself. It's one of my best 3 on here. I really enjoy it. I really appreciate it, and I do enjoy it. Now, if anybody goes back and look at the Michael Jackson's Blood on the Dance Floor History in the Mix album, look at the disc design and then look at this one. They're both similar. You can tell they both had ideas from each other, but Prince teased the hell out of Michael, though. They were actually good friends, you know, no one's seen them together, but believe it or not, behind some scenes that came out when Prince died, they actually talked to each other and had some decent conversations, and Prince, you know, really wants to reach out to Michael again to really talk to him about the Jehovah's Witness religion. And he really wanted him to do an album with him. It's just by the time he was going to, you know, Michael passed. So you can tell Prince really he does like Michael, because if he didn't, he wouldn't be performing none of his songs from Off the Wall, which is Prince's favorite album from Michael. You know, it just goes to show you. Don't believe what the media puts out. Sony and Warner Brothers promoted those two like, oh, we're gonna have these two arguing, blah blah blah. No, they were too smart for that. They're pretty much similar though, but Prince had more albums, everything. In 1992, we got the Love Symbol album. This is where he changed his name, and we all know the story of him fighting Warner Brothers. This came out October 13th, 1992. Premiere top 5, number 1, 16, 10, and 4 for a while on the charts. It went platinum in UK and in the US. I got 2 albums. Now, why do I have 2 the same? Well, they're both different, as you can see. One with the logo, one without the logo. The one without the logo is your more common one. The one with the logo is the one that you want to get because, you know, with the logo, it's worth a little bit more money. And it's printed on the case, so once it's on that case and it comes off, there ain't no really getting that back. And I found this at a junk store for like $1. For like, it was like a couple weeks ago, matter of fact. That was a really great find. And I really, really love this album. I love this album for what it is. It has great replay value. This is when the new Power Generation came along, and this is when he started taking form a little bit of hip-hop into his music as well. So just really great album, man. To me, it has a lot of replay value, and I can listen to that album. I can listen to it. I love this album. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, there are 2 albums that came out in the same year. One of them I don't have because at first it was a UK release. I'm talking about the album Come. And I don't. And then it came for US, but I couldn't get into it, so I wasn't gonna get it because I really hated it. And it's where he was burying himself. That came out August 16th, 1994, and it went gold in UK and then US, and it did, you know, pretty much top 10. But yeah, I just couldn't get into it. I don't own it, and I don't care to own it. And around the same year, in November 22, 94, on Warner Brothers, we got the album I was talking about, the Black Album. This album stayed on the top 40s for a while. No telling how much it sold because there was an argument. They went behind, when he was fighting the label, he said, no, I don't want that out. But what did they do? They put it out anyways. And I can't tell you how well it did because they don't have it on here. And there's no sale releases or anything like that, so I can't tell you. I like the album. And it's some of the songs tying into, like I said, signs of the time. So, you have that. I'm gonna be right back for a second. I gotta get something to drink. Alright, sorry about that. So, we go on to 95, and to me this is one of the worst albums ever. He rushed these next two albums. And because he really wanted to get off on Warner Brothers. And I'm talking about the Golden Experience. Hated this album. There's 3 good songs: P Control, Most Beautiful Girl in the World, and Gold. This is his third commercialized album. This came out in November, it didn't come out, okay, September 26, 95, MPG, and Warner Brothers. It went gold, UK, and in the US. It's just, God, really horrible ass album, man. I hated this album. But I see now he did that on purpose so he can leave Warner Brothers quickly. Then we have one that I do not own, which I probably won't care to own it. It's more worser than this. That is something to do with what is it? Control and Disaster, Chaos and Disaster. Note that there's no sales on it. It came out July 9th, 96, label Warner Brothers, and that was his last album on Warner Brothers. Now, he put out some singles, actually, right? He put out something for Gold. That's an album on itself, but a single mix album, which is The Beautiful Experience, about the most beautiful girl in the world. Different mixes on it. I love the different mixes. I got some of my favorites on here. He still wasn't quite done yet with that. He's like, I'm going to play with it for a while. And he put out an I Hate You single mix for it. Woman, I hate you. So, in 96, he put out Emancipation. And Emancipation is, I think, number 4 favorite album by him. I love Emancipation. It's a 3-set album, and I enjoy the album. I appreciate the album. It went 2 times platinum in China, and I think platinum in the UK. It went silver in the US, and this is his celebration album when he was free from his old label and all that mess. This came out on MPG Records. Came out November 19th, 96. It stayed at the top 10 and 20 for a good while. Anybody know I love this album package as a whole because it's good. Now separate, I can't. 2 would fail, 1 would do okay, and 3 would dominate it. If it was separate, if you released it separately. But if you were to take some of the songs from each album and put them on one disc, the main top one, it would have been really the biggest album in the U.S. of its time. But to me, that's my fourth favorite album by him. So, we go along with the Crystal Ball / the Truth album. The Truth is a bonus disc for Crystal Ball. Crystal Ball, like I said, was supposed to be the original album in the title for Sounds of the Times. And some of the albums I named that also came from that, which was the Black Album, both Black Albums, and Love Sexy. I do not have those, but I know the story behind them. And I'm not paying $800 for it either. That's how much it costs online. I'm not doing it. However, now there's an album that's not featured on here. It should be featured on here. I'm talking about New Power Generation and their album Soul that came out in '98. This is a good album, actually. I appreciate this album. To me, this is my number 3 album by him. My top 3 favorite album by him. Very great, actually. I recommend you guys, checking that out. There's one on here, Volt, which I do not have. Old Friends for Sale. Yet again, he released this on Warner Brothers. Not too sure. I don't have it. I listened to it, but I won't own it. I really didn't. I didn't care for it. Came out in 1999. Another album that came out in 1999 that I do have is Rave Until the Joy Fantasy or Fantastic. Also a little concert movie with it. I'd never seen it. Came out November 9th, 1999. MPG. It went gold in the US and it stayed, top 20 and top 100 good for a while. But it's okay. I appreciate it. But I like Every Day's a Winding Road on there. I think the case is excellent design. Actually, I appreciate that. 2001, of course, he gave us the Greatest Hits, which is his Greatest Hits. Then also in 2001, to me, this is. I think it's safe to say. My second favorite album by him. And I'm talking about The Rainbow Children. Very long album, but I could appreciate this. I love this album. This came out November 20th, 2001, MPG. Top 100 for a while. There's no sales on a lot of these next ones I'm about to name, and a lot of these ones, from what I heard and from my research, there were UK releases. This is why I don't own them. So, One Night Alone was a UK release. I do not own it. Expanded, a UK release, I do not own that. News, UK release, I do not own that. So, plus there's no really telling how great it sold or the charts with this. So, I don't own any of it. But around 2003 is when he went back to using his name, Prince. So, that I can tell you, that came with the album News. Musicology, I have that, which is right here. Musicology is a good album. I appreciate this album. I love this album. But it's not one of my favorites, though. But I do love it. This one he signed also to Columbia. Around this time, came out. Musicology came out March 29th, 2004. It stayed top 3, in top 20, in top 10 for a good while on the charts. It went gold in China, gold in the US, 2 times platinum. No, gold in the UK, 2 times platinum in the US. I love musicology. I appreciate musicology a lot. So, I recommend you guys checking out musicology. And he had something else that was The Chocolate Invitation, UK release, 2004, and The House. I don't own those. Those must have been UK releases. Okay. Now we got. I was confused about this album when it came out, and I never got it. But I heard some of it. 3122. When it first came out, a UK release, but I knew it was put out also as a single. I never got it, so. This came out with Universal as well. And plus, it went silver and gold, so not one of his best. That's why I just didn't get it, because I got kind of confused by it. I was like, is this an album or a single? And that's why it's really great to skip too. Plus, when I first remembered it, it was a UK release. That's why I don't own it, and I don't care to own it either. Planet Earth. I heard Planet Earth, and I'm glad I checked that out before I bought it. I did not like it. I did not care for it. And really, there's no telling how good it did either. Even though it was a US release too, I just hated that album when it came out. I felt like he could have did better. I mean, God for sakes, man. I mean, you're free from your label, man. You don't have to sound like half-ass quality anymore. I know you wanted to get off Warner Brothers. You did that back then. Get off it. Cool. But when you're off, it's not 2007. You didn't have to sound like shit. Then 2009 is Locust Flower, 3 CD set. One of his ex-wife, one of his ex-wives, 2 of his. This is my second favorite album by him. I love Locust Flower. I love all 3 albums. I can listen to it. This came out. It went gold in the US. This was in my senior year too, by the way. March 29th, 2009. Top 20 and top 10 on the Billboard charts too. How good that album was. Man, I missed that album actually. 2010 was a UK release. I do not own that. Pandorum with Third Eye Girl. Never got that. I heard it, and I wouldn't care to own it either. 2014. 2 times Diamond. That's bigger than Platinum, by the way. Artificial Age, 2014. Did not care for it. I have 3 favorite songs: The Clouds, Artificial Age, and Breakdown. That's it. Didn't care for it. This came out September 30th, 2014. Whatever. Didn't care for it. I do own it on vinyl though. I do own it on vinyl. Little did I know that was going to end up being the rough draft to my top favorite Prince album. My top favorite Prince album from last year. And it went gold in the US. But boy, it should have went diamond though. Because I love what he did with this album. A lot of these songs were played on one of the episodes of The Good Girl, I think it was. When he was on one of those shows. I'm talking about Hit and Run Press 1. I love this album. This came out last year. If you take a look at the hip hop sound from last year and this year, he took that, did his own twist on it, made it the way it should, had some good features on here. And I love this album. I appreciate this album. I love this, my top favorite one, and this has so much replay value. This came out September 7, 2015. It stayed on the top 40, top 20, top 50, and top 10. It did better than gold. I think Wikipedia may have their stuff wrong on that. Sometimes they, in fact, honestly, all the time, but not all the time. But they got This went actually diamond. It didn't go gold, so they got that wrong. I love the hell out of Hit and Run Press 1. Now, one that I got a couple days ago, there's no telling how the sales, because when this released, it's Hit and Run Press 2, 2015, December 11th. Now, this was released in two different things. This was released digital on tutorial thing with Jazzy in 2015. I'm gonna correct everyone here. Hit and Run 2 came out on tutorial Jay-Z's little thing. Okay? In December. Couple months later, when he had his parties and going on his Hit and Run tour and started his mic and piano tour, is when he released this year, 2016, the physical copy. Physical copy, I think, went platinum 2 times or 3 times platinum, if I remember. As you guys already probably seen my review by now on this, you guys know I have mixed emotions about it. So, this, to me, this is every Prince album by far that I own that is US released. And wow, good 50 minutes. Oh, crush it. I love these albums. I'm glad I own them. To me, I'm caught up. Cool. And if I have kids, I'm gonna pass these down to them, and I hope they enjoy these as much as I enjoy them, as much everybody else enjoyed them as well. So this is my topic discussions on every Prince album. And I'm out.